When launching Maptitude, you are presented with a quick start. The quick start facilitates fast and easy map creation and accessing of maps that have already been created. We're going to go ahead and select the option to map my own data and then click OK. After selecting the data that you want to map and choosing the sheet within that data, we'll click OK to display the Create a Map wizard. In the wizard, Maptitude provides match fields so that you can ensure that your data is properly matched to the geographic component which it's representing. After checking those matches, making changes as needed, we will click Next to go to the next screen in the wizard and use that default method, providing a file name and location, and then clicking Save. I don't want to create a theme or labels, so I will simply click Finish so that Maptitude can begin mapping this data. At the end of the process, I'm provided a results report, which can be dismissed by clicking OK. Maptitude then opens up a map that is zoomed to my data. You can customize the look of data in a Maptitude map by locating any layer in the display manager, in this case, the layer named My Data, clicking on the symbol next to My Data to open the Style dialog box. Here are a number of different styles that can be used to customize your map. And in this particular case, I'm going to look for one of these symbols that is similar to a flower. Because these are botanical gardens, maybe I'll use a leaf. I'm going to change the size of that using the size picker and also select a color which is appropriate for this data. After making these choices, I can click Apply to see how this looks on my map. And I can even adjust the opacity if I want to be able to see a bit of the overlap a little bit more. And once I have set the style the way I want, I will click OK to apply that style and close the dialog box. Let's go ahead and zoom in to the Chicago area where I have a number of these locations. So now that this map is zoomed to Chicago, I am going to use the freehand radius tool found in the drawing toolbox in Maptitude to click on my starting point and enter a radius that I am interested in this case 20 miles. Maptitude draws a circle that is 20 miles, and I can simply right-click on that circle, and I'll do that actually using this pointer tool in this case. I right-click on the circle and choose Export to Excel. Maptitude prompts me for a name for my file and provides demographics for that 20-mile radius, as well as a listing of all of my locations that fall within that area. So the resulting Excel file lists the cities and towns in that area, as well as my data and those basic census demographics. If I would like to delete that circle using the the pointer tool, I can click on the circle and click delete so that it goes away. The Drive Time Rings tool can be accessed in Maptitude by clicking the shortcut at the top of your screen. This opens the Drive Time Rings toolbox. I will select my origins using the Click Locations tool. And I would like to use this particular botanical garden as well as this one. And I want to create 2 rings that are each 15 minutes in driving distance. Once I've indicated my settings, clicking the Create Drive Time Rings button in that toolbox creates those rings. The rings are added to the map. And those show those 15-minute drive time areas. So the orange is showing me the first and closest area that can be accessed, and then the purple are that next 15 minutes out. I can save my information from this layer by finding those drive time rings in the display manager on the left side of my screen and making that the working layer. Then choosing the Export to Excel button in the toolbar at the top of my screen. Again, Maptitude opens an Excel file which lists all of the cities and towns in my drive time rings, as well as my data in those rings, and some basic census demographics. We'll go ahead and close this Drive Time Rings toolbox and drop those rings just to clean this map up a little bit for the next stage here. And as I have cleared that, you'll see that just holding my mouse over any feature on the map does give me information about it using the hover tool. So this is a nice way to quickly get information about a feature in any layer on your map. You can create territories in Maptitude by locating the Map menu at the top of the Maptitude window and selecting New Territory Layer. I want to use an Excel file that I have, which defines my territories. So I have browsed for that, and we'll click Next. Maptitude attempts to figure out the right matches for my data. This is correct, so I will click Next again. I can also add some tracking fields if I'd like. I want to use some from the building block layer, those zip codes, so I'll use some data from Maptitude. And I might also check to see if I have data in my import file. And this one doesn't, so I won't add any data from that. I'll simply click Finish. Provide a name for my new territories, and then click Save. Maptitude creates a new layer on this map depicting the territories as represented in my Excel file. These territories can easily be modified. So in this case, I know that my Region 2 has been adjusted so that some counties in Missouri are now included as part of that region. Since I want to edit my Region 2, I will select that from my territory dropdown. And since I said these are counties that should be added, I will choose County from the geography and then click on the counties that should be included. Maptitude shows the changes in the fields that I'm tracking, and clicking that green check adds those regions to my map. I can get an overview of my entire collection of territories using the Show All Territories tool. And I see that I also need to make a change to my Region 1. So I'm going to make Region 1 my active territory. And I know that the rest of the state of Wisconsin should be added, so I'll change that geography to state and use my Select by Pointing tool to click on the rest of Wisconsin and save that as well. So I now have brought in my data from my Excel file and modified those territories to more accurately reflect my own data. I'm ready to share this outside of Maptitude and can do so by clicking the Territories tab. I'll click and drag over all those territories and then right-click to choose Export Territories to Excel. Again, after providing a file name, Maptitude creates an Excel file comprised of several different tabs, including a tab for the city and town layer, listing all of the cities and towns in these sales territories, a tab for my own data showing the botanical gardens that are in these territories, a tab with those tracking fields that I was watching, information zip code by zip code, displaying the region which is associated with the zip code, and then a general listing of demographics for that territory. So that concludes our webinar for today. Thank you for attending and have a great day. Bye-bye.